Texas Governor Greg Abbott is pushing back on criticism for his decision to build a huge floating barrier wall along the Rio Grande River. The United States Department of Justice is suing to remove a line of orange buoys set up earlier this month at an area that's believed to be a major access point for migrants. The Biden administration argues the structure is illegal and would raise both humanitarian and environmental issues. Now, Abbott, in an address to Texas Republican county chairs, said he would, quote, do whatever I have to defend our state from the invasion of the Mexican drug cartels and others who have tried to come into our country illegally, and I will protect our sovereignty. Joining us now, the president and CEO of Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services, Krish O'Mara Vignarajah. Krish, great to see you this morning. So let's start there with this sort of unorthodox decision by the Texas governor to install these floating barrier wall, and DOJ quickly filing a lawsuit to try to get it to stop it. Give us your analysis of the case. Do we think DOJ can win here?
We certainly do. It's clear that federal waterways are under the management of the federal government. The idea that a state's governor could institute these razor wire floating buoys into a federal waterway without permission from the federal government is inconsistent with the law, and we do believe that DOJ will win. But I also think it's important to understand that they're ineffective as well. I mean, essentially, the suggestion is that immigrants who have undertaken a treacherous 1,000-mile journey, who have in many cases gone through a risky jungle, the Darien Gap, in order to arrive, will then turn back once they see these floating barriers. And in fact, the reality is they will just go to more dangerous parts of the water. In fact, Abbott's own troopers have been raising concerns about how these are operating. The idea of turning back children, nursing infants under his protocols has been deeply problematic, even within his own staff.
So, Krish, when Title 42, which was that pandemic era measure, expired a couple of months ago, there was an expectation that there would be a real rise in numbers at the border, that more and more migrants would make the trek to the United States. That hasn't really happened. Can you give us a sense as to why?
I think there are two main reasons. One, it's important to understand that once Title 42 went away, it wasn't as though there was no federal law managing our borders. The suggestion that the borders are open is nonsensical and inconsistent with the reality that we see at our country's borders. I think so it's important to understand that Title 8 is still in place. In fact, it actually institutes harsher measures in the sense that migrants who are encountered that are returned are barred for 5 to 10 years, which wasn't true under Title 42. It's why you saw millions of encounters, because people who would get returned would then, the next day, a week later, try to come back. It's why you saw those, millions of encounters. And then the second reason is the Biden administration has put in place new pathways that allow for migrants to apply from their home countries, from outside of the U.S. borders. And that has been beneficial because it has allowed Haitians, Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans to enter. That's been true, and why we've argued that the administration, that Congress need to act to create a more orderly immigration system that doesn't require Indians, Chinese, even Ukrainians to come to our southern border. The reason they have in the past couple years, including during the Trump administration, was because there were no other pathways to come in.
And despite an obvious need, there simply seems no appetite for any sort of comprehensive immigration reform in Congress right now. The White House keeps pushing. Republicans don't seem interested. It's an important conversation, one that we will continue in the weeks ahead. President and CEO of Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service, Krish O'Mara Vignarajah, thank you so much for joining us again this morning.